start to believe, you know what, they were probably seeing over the horizon very effectively. What's interesting is, as a result, close to half of those organizations then dropped out, and we're now down to 19 ACOs that are still in the Pioneer model. What's most interesting about this, though, and this is really where we're starting to buoy around the concepts in the ACOs, is that if you look at year 2, even though we had half as many programs, we created more savings, right? So that's $104 million off of half the programs versus the $92 million off of the full 32. So the reason we bring that up is it's a really important point that, and I'll look at the detail here in a minute, but we're actually seeing an increased pace of being able to accrue shared savings through the Pioneer model, through some of the other Medicare shared savings models, based upon experience, based upon the alignment, based upon the programs people have in place. Now, there are big open questions right now about how much of that has to do with the market they're in. Do they have favorable demographic factors? Were they already doing some of this work and they're simply getting paid for it? All those are really important questions, and it's certainly something that we're going to see more detail as we go. But the really important point here is we are starting to see generating momentum through the dollars in some of these programs. The other thing that's interesting about this is at the time we had the 32 model, Pioneer model ACOs, we had about 170 Medicare shared savings programs in that first year. We're now up to over 400, and organizations are continuing to put in their applications. So even though there may be too much prescription, too much operational burden, too much difficulty in getting too small incentives, the point here is that we are starting to see things work. So I know this is a bit of an eye chart. This is the actual Medicare data around the Pioneer model ACOs. And if you compare that left column to the right column, what that's looking at is just the gross savings that were generated, right? And you'll notice that there's lots of big winners in terms of the dollars that they were able to generate in savings. There are not a ton of big losers. There are a couple of them